Are you ready to enhance your English vocabulary with everyday expressions? If the answer is yes, join us as we explore the fascinating evolution and practical usage of the word iffy. It's a very casual term with surprising depth and is part of a series of bringing you some of these terms that we use in English that they don't translate directly, or they may not really translate at all for you as a non-native speaker, but we use them all the time, and they're very specific instances that we use them. So today, welcome to Mastering ESL Advice, what's really behind the word iffy, brought to you by Mastering English Communications. Let's begin. So first up, what does iffy mean? Let's start there. So the core meaning of it is that we're talking about something uncertain, questionable, or doubtful. And it's a casual word. So the casual context is that it expresses hesitation or uncertainty about plans or situations. And as an example, a good sentence that will illustrate this is, I'm feeling a bit iffy about attending the party tonight. Yeah, you're a little uncertain, it's questionable or doubtful. It's a little iffy. Next up, the everyday usage of iffy. Informal conversations, right? So it frequently appears in casual discussions about opinions or situations. You're critiquing or commenting on entertainment. The movie was okay, but the ending was a bit iffy. So why do you want to use this word? Because it makes you sound like a more natural English speaker. Using these types of expressions helps you sound more like a native speaker. So where did it come from? In the late 1800s, it originally meant sickly or unwell when referring to person. In the early 1900s, the meaning was or shifted towards uncertainty and questionable quality. And then in our modern day, the modern usage is now it primarily refers to doubtful situations or uncertain outcomes. The origin and evolution of Iffy, late 1800s, early 1900s, and today's modern usage. So why does this history matter? Well, for one thing, it shows how English vocabulary transforms over time, right? And it's very exciting if you're learning a language to understand how the language evolves. Uh, Also, why history matters? Because in the past it referred to physical illness, and then it became something metaphorical in terms of uncertainty. Right? So it went from concrete to abstract. And then now it enhances appreciation of English language patterns. So now you have a deeper understanding of English just by understanding the evolution of a small word like if. And then lastly, it gives you cultural context. It reveals how societal changes influence language. So now, formal versus informal contexts. In casual settings, an example sentence would be, the weather looks a bit iffy for our picnic. So this is in a context of speaking to friends, maybe even interacting on social media, or just having casual conversations with people. In a formal setting, an example would be, the financial forecast appears uncertain at this time. Business meetings, academic writing, professional emails. Of course, if you said the financial forecast appears iffy at this time, it would mean the exact same thing to an English speaker. Next up, synonyms and antonyms. Let's take a look. So similar words to iffy, and this is only four, there are some others, and I will do a special video on that for the future. But similar words would be uncertain, questionable, dubious, and shaky. Next, we would have opposite words: certain, clear, definite, unambiguous. And then lastly, the benefits. Using this word properly represents precise communication. It also shows adaptability. You, as a non-native speaker, are now understanding more of the nuance of the language, and it enhances your vocabulary. Three benefits all at the same time. So now let's take a look at the nuances: expression, tone, appropriate context. So an expression: I'm iffy about the details. The tone is casual, conversational. Appropriate context: you're among friends or you're having an informal discussion. Next, you would have, I'm uncertain about the details. This is formal and precise. Professional settings, academic. Right? Notice that I'm not using iffy here. Now, of course, I could use it and people would know what I'm saying, but the environment is formal, so we're not using iffy. We're using instead one of the synonyms that I just shared with you, uncertain. And then you're skeptical. Well, I'm doubtful about the details. Skeptical. You're questioning something in the conversation. Right? This will occur in debates or critical discussions. And then lastly, the details are questionable. The tone is critical. There's potential for rejection of the idea or the thing. And the context would be reviews and evaluations. Right? So this is how you would use iffy, and this is how you would use some of its synonyms, both in tone and context. Next up, let's look at cultural considerations. Okay, so let's start with the foundation of it: building cross-cultural bridges, understanding when iffy helps or hinders communication. Direct versus indirect. Some prefer clarity, others appreciate softer expressions. And culturally aware communication, adapting language to specific cultural contexts. That's why I've given you the examples that I just gave you. Now let's take another look at common expressions with iffy. Feeling iffy. This expresses personal uncertainty or hesitation. Iffy about. Directing uncertainty toward a specific thing. An iffy situation. Describing circumstances with questionable outcomes. Now let's take a different look. When you're responding to someone who's using iffy, notice when someone uses iffy to express uncertainty, right? That's because you're listening attentively. So those of you that follow my work, you know that I speak a lot about attentive listening or active listening. Then ask for clarification. What makes you feel iffy about it? Show engagement. Demonstrate interest in their concerns or uncertainties. And then lastly, build connection. These responses strengthen relationships through, once again, active listening. So let's just sort of wrap up or start to wrap up, and some language learning tips for you here. And those of you that follow me know I'm always talking about practice, practice, practice. So practice regularly. Use Iffy. So determine that this week you're going to use Iffy in some conversations that are appropriate, right? And make it part of your active vocabulary from there. You also want to notice context. Pay attention to when native speakers use Iffy and in what situations, and then adapt accordingly. Switch between casual Iffy and formal alternatives based on your audience. Very important. It just will show that you have a grasp of the language and also will give you dramatically more confidence. Now, please share your experiences, success stories. Have you successfully used Iffy in a conversation? How did it help you connect? Did using Iffy ever create confusion? Hopefully not, but sometimes it does. And if it did, I hope you learned from it. And of course, join the conversation. Leave your comments below. Please like, share, subscribe. And I'll see you next time as we continue our linguistic adventure together. Take care, everyone.